This is the little island of Sepanggar. Facing the South China Sea off the Borneo coast at the right time of year, it offers safe anchorage. In a normal world, this is the kind of location adventurous cruisers seek. Just look at those beaches, pristine and unspoiled by development. The clear blue water reveals healthy coral around the fringes of the island, and there's good holding for visiting yachts. But we no longer live in a normal world. Here in Malaysia, we've been under one of the longest lockdowns in the world, now coming up to 9 months. At the time of recording, some borders are starting to open, but we are still not able to visit our families in the UK, because if we go, we are still not allowed to return to Malaysia. If you're familiar with our channel, you'll be familiar with the visa situation too. We've been making the best of a difficult situation and are able to go for day sails, and we've been diving when the movement control orders occasionally allow us. But to be honest, it's not all that bad. The surrounding Borneo coastline is one of the most beautiful in the world, and we've benefited from some incredible sights of nature even while unable to move at anchor. The sunsets are stunning. The lightning storms and squalls are breathtaking, and it's not often you get to see rare Mammatus clouds forming between the mountains and sea at sunset. Compared to many people in the world, we're well off. We've mentioned before the stateless Bajau Laut, Sabah's sea gypsies, who've been cut off from medical supplies and aid. For them, it's a hand-to-mouth existence. Local Sabahans have become isolated too, and have had to depend upon the generosity of their neighbours to donate supplies. Businesses have collapsed, entire communities have been closed off to the world as income dries up. Of course, this isn't just unique to Sabah. We've seen this scene repeated around the world from east to west, affecting both the well-off and the poor. But Sabah is particularly bad because tourism is the third highest contributor to its economy after agriculture and manufacturing. We are reminded of the long-term effect of the pandemic all around us. So why are we painting this picture for you? If you watch Follow the Boat, all of this will be familiar to you already. You know that as the rest of the world opens up, we're still restricted in our ability to move around. And we've already documented just how bad the situation is in Sabah for the local residents. Well, we wanted to put in context this incident that occurred while at anchor off Sepanggar.
Right, why am I filming this? This guy here is from one of the local kampongs, and we've just caught him actually sticking his hand in our boat trying to take stuff. He managed to grab hold of one of Liz's hats, but we're not going to grass him up. We're going to give him some food instead because he's clearly desperate. He's apologising. Yeah, he wants food and water. I gave him some onions. He says he doesn't cook, so do you want to give me your thing? I'll get you some water.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Pass it here.
What happened to when 5 days or 4 days?
Right, sorry about that. I'll attempt to explain this situation in more detail. This guy came up to us some days ago, and it turns out he can speak quite good English. He is, I think, what you'd call a Bajau Laut, so unofficially called a sea gypsy. So these guys normally have no status, and he said that he lives in a kampong somewhere down over there, kind of paddled all the way across the bay to come and see us and ask for food, which we gave him. And then, lo and behold, he comes back 5 days later. Still obviously very hungry, but I heard this noise, and he was rifling through one of our lower portholes, and turns out he'd taken one of Liz's hats. Now I guess your normal reaction is to tick him off, or maybe even get in contact with the authorities. There's no authorities here to get in touch with, not at this anchorage anyway. But I think the way I see it is it just shows you how desperate this guy is, and the fact that he's paddled all the way over the bay again to get more food is an indication of how desperate he is. So anyway, I've given him some noodles. I did give him some onions, as I said, but he said he doesn't cook, and quite often these guys, they just eat noodles straight out of the packet. So anyway, he kept apologising, and I've given him some water as well, which you saw. So he's off again now. Morning, it's a lovely day today, and as you can see, we are at anchor just outside the marina. And the reason for this is because we're applying for our extended visa. We have just heard some possible good news. More on that in a bit. First of all, we've got to get in the dinghy, over to the marina, grab a coffee, and then, Liz, what are you doing?
The laundry! Blah.
How nice for her. It's one of the problems with being at anchor, of course, is having to stop off and do your laundry every 2 weeks. That's why we've got about 50,000 pairs of underpants.
You have, I wash mine every day. One viewer recently asked what we do about laundry on the boat, so we recorded a whole sequence of us at anchor outside the marina, loading the dinghy up with Jamie's smelly underpants, hauling our load into the dinghy, taking a ride into the marina, finding a spot to tie up before lugging our bags of stench ashore, and finding a grab taxi to take us into town to our favourite laundrette. Meanwhile, Jamie had planned to take you on a shopping trip to the confusing shopping mall that is Karamunsing. Despite lockdown, some shops are allowed to open, albeit with stringent temperature checks and a restriction on movement if you haven't had your double vaccination. Karamunsing is the place to go for computer and phone supplies and repairs, but it's a rabbit warren, and if you've never been before, you can be guaranteed to get lost with its many escalators, staircases and floors. While we recorded the events of a day in the life of lockdown for you, it turned out our mic had broken on the camera. So there's no audio. It's a shame because we wanted to give you a flavour of Kota Kinabalu, the town that has become our home throughout lockdown. Never mind, with the laundry done, we were able to weigh anchor, and unfortunately for some, Jamie found a working microphone.
Hi! I don't remember what our last update was. I think when we last left you, we were going back to anchor outside the marina because we are waiting for our new visa update. So we did. We anchored outside. It was very pleasant, and we've been waiting for our visas to get back, and there's a huge backlog apparently. Big backlog. Alvin, who's very kindly doing it all for us, has just sent a message to say that they won't be ready for another few days yet. So we've got some southerly winds coming up the coast, which meant anchoring outside the marina wouldn't have been ideal. So we were going to go back round to Gaia, and then we decided, no, let's get back down to Dinawan. At the moment, I can't even see it. It's only a few miles away. It's covered in rain. It's been absolutely pissing down with rain, which is quite unusual, sort of afternoon time. It doesn't normally rain until the evening. Anyway, we just motored around. Now I think we are breaking curfew. We're not supposed to be out. We should have our anchor down by 2 o'clock. and it's coming up to 3 o'clock already, and we've still got another hour to go. Anyway, blah 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 blah.
We've arrived at Dinner One. Didn't expect to even up anchor today, and we were going to go into the marina, and then we realised there was no point because our passports won't be ready till probably Monday. So I thought, oh well, we'll go and anchor around Gaia. No, let's go somewhere different for a change. So here we are at Dinner One, and it's inside the reef here. It's nice and flat, so although there might be a bit of weather going on around us, we're nice and flat here. We'll see how it goes. I'm knackered actually.
It's all that cooking.
Yeah.